What do you make of that wild debut, and what are people talking about to watch for from Coinbase on the all-important day two?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Look, I mean, that wild debut, I don't think is all that unusual for something that is, always unpredictable as an initial listing like this, people trying to find where the price is. But just as importantly, of course, it reflects the fact that, Wall Street's going to have to struggle to figure out what this thing actually is. You just referred to it as an exchange. I mean, in the crypto world, we call it an exchange, but it's really nothing like any of the traditional stock exchanges that the world and certainly Wall Street knows of when they go about pricing these things. And I think it's fair to say there's not a great deal of broad knowledge about crypto itself, and it's a very different way of thinking about the world. So you've got institutional investors who are going to have to struggle to figure out how to put a value on this thing, and inevitably I think that's going to bring volatility. Actually, not just yesterday, I think we're going to see this to be a fairly volatile price for some time, not to mention the fact that it is an inherently cyclical stock, or at least something that is tied to an alternative asset, which of course is Bitcoin and other crypto prices. So lots of forces to make this thing move around, I would think, not just yesterday, but going forward.
And what are people watching, Michael, going forward? I mean, what's kind of the issue? Is it if crypto prices crash or come down, do we expect trading volume and interest to dry up, or can they survive in a bear or bull market? Not survive, but thrive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're pretty safe at the moment in terms of that cash cushion for survival. And this is normal. Coinbase has been used to this, as is every other exchange in the space, that their revenues are very much tied, or at least the performance is tied to where the price of Bitcoin is, where the price of Ether, where the price of other altcoins are. And they tend to move in sync as well. So yes, that's a factor. I think the bigger thing to watch is what happens to competition in this space. Not to say as well that is an immediate threat. And you mentioned during the break that I've said that it may be at Netflix, but also may be Blockbuster. We don't quite know where it stands, but the point of the matter is the real competitive challenge, I would argue, for Coinbase is the emergence of what we call decentralized exchanges in which there is no need to have a central party custodian the way that Coinbase is. This is a thriving new area, and that is going to at some time come along. Coinbase is aware of this, of course. The question is, can they meet that challenge? Right now, the general public really loves the convenience of the kind of centralized, custodial approach that Coinbase has taken. And we are still very, very early days in the growth of this marketplace. And so even if other new centralized exchanges come in and compete with Coinbase, which they already are outside of the listed company world, the growing pie of a global marketplace for crypto, I think, is inevitably going to continue to bring in pretty impressive growth for Coinbase and for its competitors. But the big question is, a few years down the road, when the technology is inevitably evolved into something else, can Coinbase keep up?
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.